Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the Beacon Breakdown. I think this is episode 15. We are getting up there. As always, I am Mike, our token graduate assistant here, and today I am joined by.
I'm Chris. I'm a junior CS major, and I play for Valpo Overwatch Shield as a support player.
Yes, and quickly becoming the face of Valpo Esports. Great picture there.
It is a good picture. It's a great picture.
So we're going to talk a little bit about last week's games. Our teams are finally getting into action. End of January here, we had some time to gear up and practice. Our first kind of actual game was Smash Bros in the GLEC. They took on St. Francis, who knocked them out of playoffs last semester. And they came out strong with a 2-1 win here, getting revenge. And you know a lot about revenge, so that's got to feel good, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, it's awesome. I love seeing stories like that.
So great hopes for them to kind of do well. I know we made playoffs last year in the GLEC, but we're looking to win playoffs this time around. We've got Alex back, who was studying abroad last semester, so that's a big boost to them. On the Rocket League side of things, no official competition, but they did do NECC activations 0-2 there. And sorry, I misspoke. They did have some GLEC games that
Right.
they rescheduled. So they went 1-1. They defeated Marion Tech 3-0, and they lost to Bethel 3-1. And man, Bethel is quickly becoming a rival of this whole program. Everyone plays them a lot, including you guys who had a chance
Yeah.
to play them just this weekend.
Yeah. They're really good. We played them in the GLEC, and we went 1-3 with them, and they were quite the team. They're pretty strong.
Yeah, very strong and definitely a new experience for you guys too. This is your first semester in the GLEC.
Right.
What was your first taste like in a different league?
It's pretty interesting because it's not too incredibly different than
Hmm.
like NECC with like rule set and stuff, but it being like one big tournament without really like divisions, it's just the Great Lakes. It's gonna be interesting to see how it like goes.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see you guys adding in GLEC on top of
Right.
NECC. I mean, do you think it's going to be tougher to play, that many more games?
I think it's gonna be tough on like the mental side of it a little bit, but I think we can handle it. I think we've got because we entered as one big roster, so if people aren't feeling it that week, we can put other people in and I think it'll be good. Getting more, just like more time, more competition time it'll just help us improve like that much faster.
100%. Really good that GLEC gives us that flexibility. I think you can actually have up to 15 on your roster
Yeah,
if you want. So it's a very, very different feel and, gives us that opportunity to flex in and out. Speaking of NECC, you did play that. That one, little rough, but,
yeah.
it's just preseason. We don't really count those. I mean, what did you really learn from those two games you played?
So yeah, we went 0-2 in an ECC activation. What we learned is that we're feeling stiff right now. After I wouldn't say that we've like stagnated, but we didn't play as much as we would have liked to over the winter, and everyone's kind of having trouble communicating right now. But as time goes on, I think that's gonna get like a lot more smooth like it did last semester. So I'm not super worried about it.
Yeah. And so these activation matches, kind of don't count towards your record.
Right.
The NECC more uses them to figure out where your skill level is, which division you should be in. You know, you guys did pretty well in your division last season,
Yeah,
right?
that's true. That's true. We did.
So I guess looking back, why don't you take me back a little bit and talk about, what that semester was like going on that big run in the
Oh my gosh,
NECC
yeah.
West?
So last semester it was really fun because it was a big switch up to Shield like as a team. I mean, I came back up from Beacon. We added a couple new players with Solaris and Fusic, and it was sort of just a big shift. And it put us in a weird position where we didn't like quite know each other at the beginning. But once we started getting going, we learned like Overwatch 2 came out and we learned like how to just play around each other and work to each other's strengths. I think that's why we were such like a force to be reckoned with, and we went so our record was so good in the season, including with winning finals.
Yeah, no, it was very impressive, and I'm definitely excited to see what you guys can do this semester. Want to touch on real quick, we do have now two other Overwatch
Yeah,
teams. We have our Overwatch Beacon team, which went 2-0 in activation. Really great sign from them considering, how much shakeup we had
Right.
there with Abby leaving and,
Yeah.
kind of Jacob taking this little hiatus. So a lot more playing time coming in from like our subs from last semester. I don't know, have you talked to the Shield team or sorry, the Beacon team at all?
Oh yeah, plenty. I mean, some of the people on Beacon with like Lil Flap Scott, he's like
Hmm.
one of my best friends on campus, and obviously I know Abby pretty well, and it's been tough on them. Last semester was tough on them. Just there was a lot of shakeups in like who was playing what role and subbing in people and out. But I think they're feeling better about this semester. They've kind of I think they've solidified more what they want to do with the team, and I think they're excited to like get back into the competition, get it back rolling, and uh, I think they're set to do pretty well. Obviously from activation 2-0,
Yeah, a hundred
fantastic.
percent. And it's, good to see those guys like Lucy and Justin who
Yeah,
kind of been working in the background,
they have.
finally getting a chance to come up here and, play a lot of these big games. So,
Right, which is exciting. I
hmm
think that's really going to be good.
and then our third team, we talked a little bit about it last week. We had Christian, not Chris, on last
Yeah,
week.
there we
So
go.
um, he kind of started up our club team. So, if you want to check out the last episode, a lot more details on that. But just want to mention they did go 2-0 in their
Yes, sir.
activation games. So, more casual, more for fun. But hey, if they can pick up the
Oh
wins
yeah,
too.
no, that's great.
All right, so just to touch on some of our other teams here, we have League of Legends, who went 1-1 in their activation games. So, kind of split the difference, learn from that loss, and build on that win. And they also have an exciting opportunity they're working on right now.
Right, yeah,
They're in their Cloud9 training camp. So we're kind of working with some of Cloud9's coaches. They're not like the main coaches, but they're still connected to the
yeah,
org, and it's really great for them to kind of get that high level training, I guess.
that's exciting.
And hey, maybe in the future we can get some Overwatch.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So definitely very excited about that partnership, and maybe more opportunities in the future. We'll just have to see.
Yeah,
And our final esport is iRacing. I love kind of talking about this one because it's very unique.
yeah.
He considers it not even really an esport, more of a simulation, is what I'm told.
It looks like it. It's super realistic.
Yes. So Ricky, kicked off his races last week, and he is currently in 11th, which is one spot out of playoffs. But he has the whole season to
Right,
move
yeah.
that up. So very good start for him in 11th, looking to move up to top 10 before the semester ends. So if you want to check that out, that's typically on Monday nights. So tonight you can tap into the collegiate iRacing stream and check out Ricky. All right, so now that we've kind of covered all of our teams, I want to turn the attention to, you a little bit, and we already kind of mentioned it, but some of your expectations for this semester with the team, and do you think you can do it again? You think you can win another championship here?
I think we can for sure. I think our team is so strong, and even though like right now it's a little rough, we meld with each other so well. I think it's incredibly possible, and like I'm hopeful that we can run it back, do it again, and win again, which would be amazing, especially with like coming up and us getting more practice in that like competitive space and taking it like super seriously. I think it looks pretty high hopes for us. I think.
Yeah. And, talking a little bit about Gleck, their postseason, their kind of playoffs happen on land
Yeah.
down in Columbus, Ohio. What do you think about the possibility of being able to qualify that? Have you ever played at a LAN event before?
I kind of have. So I play I play fighting games competitively as well.
Okay.
So I've gone to fighting game tournaments and played like LAN there,
Hmm.
where you play like right next to each other, and the environment is so fun. It's so much more like electric to be like right next to the people you're competing against. And I would have loved to be able to go to like a LAN for Overwatch. I've never played like Overwatch or any shooter at a LAN, and I think that would just be so fun and so such an exciting experience.
Yeah, I mean, I had the opportunity to go down, with our League of Legends and Smash team
Right?
last
Yeah.
semester, and it is very cool, seeing all the players right there. I know League was playing, and like the team they were against was right across from 'em on the other side
Right.
of the
Yeah.
table. So, you know, not smack talk, of course.
Well, yeah,
We
of
would
course.
never,
No, no.
uh, just very cool to, look your opponent down and see him
Yeah.
right there. So, talk to me a little bit about that, fighting game experience. That's something I
Oh.
didn't know.
Oh yeah, I don't talk about it a whole ton. So I play a couple of fighting games, like in a competitive sense. I play Guilty Gear, my main
Okay.
one,
Yeah.
and I went. It's actually happened this past weekend. I didn't go this year because I was busy, but Frosty Fausting's over near Chicago,
Okay.
and it's just a it's just a bunch of tables in a room set up right, and you're sitting right next, like me and you,
Hmm.
and you're just playing a fighting game right next to each other.
Yeah.
It's so exciting because like I mean you can hear each other hit the buttons, and you can see people like lean in when stuff's going on. I think it's so fun to be able to just like, and it's also it's like a healthy environment.
Oh
So
yeah.
like when you're done, you like shake hands or fist bump or whatever, and I think it just adds like a different level to competing.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, I think it's a very cool opportunity. You think about esports mostly online, so
Right.
when you're able to have that different dynamic, it definitely, heightens everything. So, multi-talented guy over here. Fighting games and
Yeah.
FPS. So,
Yeah, it's cool.
Smash Team have to look out at all here.
Oh, no, they don't. I'm so
Okay.
bad at Smash. I'm so bad at it.
All right. So your preferred game, Overwatch. Talk to
Right.
me a little bit about, how you transitioned, I guess, from fighting games to Overwatch, or was it like you were doing both for a while, or
I
what?
I still am doing both actually. I
Okay.
still play both. I mean, Overwatch I've definitely focused on heavier like competitively.
Hmm.
Being on an esports team and all. And fighting games have taken like a back burner to it. But the transition, I've always played like kind of both games. I
Okay.
played fighting games with my family a lot when I was young and with my friends. But I've always played like TF2 and CS and stuff like that. So I've always had an interest in like shooters.
Yeah. So I guess how did you like first find Overwatch? Were you one of those
When it,
early beta
yeah, when it
guys?
came out,
Okay.
I played on the Xbox when it came out. I only played Genji and I was really bad.
So you're looking at what, year 7 now playing this
Yeah,
game?
I mean there was a short 5 year break between me playing it and then me coming here because I
Right.
had just picked it up again when I came back
Okay.
or when I came
Um,
to college.
yeah, so what was that like? Like, did you know that Valpo had esports when you were coming here, or was this something you found, once you got to campus?
I didn't. I actually Franco introduced me to esports because he really wanted to like do the Overwatch team,
Yeah.
and he was super aggressive about like getting people to join, and he really wanted people to join. So I had met him. I actually met his roommate, and when I was talking to his roommate, he walked over. He's like, you play video games? Do you want to play Overwatch for the Valparaiso Esports Overwatch team?" I was like, I was kind of in a phase where I just kind of say yes to anything because I was freshman
Right.
and I wanted to meet people, so I just would go to like events. So this was just another way to meet people, but I found a lot of really cool people, and I ended up enjoying like being in like the competitive space a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, just talking about being kind of that early, person, Franco, obviously a big
Yeah,
motivator, but
yeah, he was.
you and Franco and a lot of these guys have, been here now for 2, 3 years, I
Three.
think.
Yeah, this is our
Yeah.
third.
So talk to me a little bit about, kind of the growth and change you've seen since
Oh,
that first semester.
a lot. I mean, obviously the teams have changed up. Yeah, with like people, we have people because really for people that were here originally, it was me, Franco, Bryce, obviously being the coach. Garrett's still here, and Isaac were like some of the main people that I knew coming in, and like we became friends through Overwatch. The growth is crazy, honestly. As people, as a team, as a space, obviously,
Yeah.
moving into the basement and getting
This
this really
stream room
beautiful new
here,
space. Yeah, this stream.
yeah.
We used to stream out of the fitness center
Yep.
in the gym. Um, so it's been kind of crazy. The team's grown like personally. People have become closer with each other. So that's been like really interesting to watch and seeing how people have become friends. The team has grown skill wise a great deal. I mean, from barely. I mean, I think we've placed every semester, but only recently have we had this like success in like
Hmm.
winning an ECC, and we grew physically with just adding more people to the program. Obviously now with 3 teams, we used
Yep.
to only have the one. It's been impressive to see and astonishing how much it's grown in just every aspect.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think this whole lab, this whole space down here has been
Yeah,
a really big step for
it's been
everyone. I
awesome.
know, last year you guys were kind of struggling with space.
Oh
We were
yeah.
all crammed into that lab upstairs, and
Yep.
now we kind of got the big basement area. So
It's awesome.
it's definitely been incredible to see. Um, not just growth of the program, but you just had a big change in your gameplay. I mean, Overwatch
Yeah.
turned into Overwatch
Oh my
2.
gosh. Yeah. That's been that's been super interesting. That's been like by far one of the most like I don't know, interesting thing that's happened when I've been on Overwatch.
Yeah,
For just a game to completely change, you remove a tank
yeah,
and there's new maps and there's new characters, which hasn't been a thing in Overwatch for a long time. We haven't gotten new stuff. It's been good, honestly. I think it refreshed the game for me. It was getting a little stale
yeah,
and just making the game faster with one less tank, with a lot more movement, taking a lot out like the CC, the stuns and all that.
yep,
I think it was tough at first because we were immediately thrown into NECC upon like Overwatch 2 releasing, and so
yeah,
everyone was like scrambling. We're all like trying to figure out like who we should play and how we should play them. It's like you've got these three new characters that are out, and Sojourn is like incredibly good, and
yep,
then no one played Junker Queen, and everyone played. I played Kiriko.
uh-huh,
Um, but it's been fun. It's been really entertaining to like grow with everybody and learn a game again with everybody. It's been really fun.
yeah. I mean, I think it's a very cool opportunity, and I mean, it really changed so much. I know now in all your competitions, Map 4 is Push, a
Yeah, it's
game
push.
mode that
Right,
we
push,
hadn't
yeah.
even had like a few months ago. I mean, what
Yeah.
has that experience been like?
Well, we are proud of our push gameplay. It's sort of the running bit that we
Yeah,
hardly lose on push. Um and a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people don't like push. A lot of people are not fond of it, but I think it's been good to have a game mode that is purely focused on like winning, like snowballing, winning these team fight, team fight, team fight, and you're just like trying to get. It's like I mean, it's a dual-sided payload, so you're trying to push it like one of two ways. And I think that was interesting at first because when you got to map four and you had to play push, and both teams are like, how are they gonna play on push, especially in the early season? I think it was one of the more like wild card aspects
yeah.
to like the game.
Yeah. I mean, it's been very cool to, kind of see you guys just almost playing a different game. It's
Yeah,
like you were an Overwatch player, now you're an Overwatch 2 player, and it
yeah,
comes with a slightly different,
it
skill
does. Yeah.
set and, how do you approach the game with those five players. And I mean, you mentioned the new heroes. I guess just talk to me a little bit about your mentality going into the game, and the heroes you pick as a support player.
I was a support player.
Hmm.
If you watch the games, I play really one character. I play Kiriko. All the time because she's just so strong, and I've gotten so like accustomed to her play style. But as the interesting thing I think about like picking characters in Overwatch is like playing around the other people on your team and like
Yeah.
what works. So like we often run like a game plan called Rush, where you're just like moving as fast as you can into the enemy team. So to like throw them off guard, just scramble them to like make them panic. And so you play Lucio, who's got like the speed boost. But if you want to play in like a more not passive but like defensive comp, you play like Ana, and so you have like these incredible burst heals. I think that is like what makes Overwatch such a cool game for me, and like playing around your team, and why it's so I guess it's why it's unique. I guess is what I mean to say. But like I play Kiriko,
Yeah.
so it's not super hard for me to like reason through it because Kiriko's so good right now, and
Yep.
her abilities just like I mean you can cleanse any negative effect that comes by. You have really high burst healing. You have really high burst damage.
Yeah, and I mean, just, outside of the characters, talk to me a little bit about, your mindset. You're one of the few I see, you're not slamming the table, you're not raging. You tend to be a pretty cool cucumber out there.
Yeah. Um, I'm pretty cool headed. I like to think when it comes to like games, I don't get super like tilted. I guess it is called like
Yeah.
your mental just shifts when you're playing a game and you get mad at like every little thing. I kind of take that from like me growing up with family who all played games. It's like if you get mad, then it kind of just sucks to be like mad at your family.
Yeah,
So I never really was one to get like mad because I just didn't like I didn't like it. I didn't like being mad. I didn't like people being mad around me. So I just my whole game is I just like to play cool and think through my actions and don't panic because I mean you panic you make mistakes.
yeah. I mean, I think it's very important, for the entire team to take that because
Yeah,
it could really be a big shift if you just have one person who
one person's
starts
like
getting
mad
upset. Yeah.
and then they sometimes people who get mad they just play worse
Hmm.
and you can really snowball because you play worse, you feel worse about yourself, you get more mad, and it's
Yeah.
like this never-ending cycle. But I think we used to have a actually a pretty big issue with people getting mad, like before Overwatch 2, and we all worked on it. We all worked on it together, like as a team. Uh, just kind of having the mentality of whenever you lose or whenever you're playing poorly, just go either quit playing and take a break for a minute, which is always a good idea, or just go into the next game and go in like fresh and be like just I don't know, not forget about it, but like
Move past it,
move
really.
past it. Yeah,
Yeah.
move past it.
Yeah. I like to always say that, traditional sports are 50% mental and
Yeah,
then esports are like
90%
95%.
man.
And
Yeah,
yeah.
they are. They really are.
So I guess before we kind of close out here, a little bit more about you and, your future. What are you
Mm.
studying? What are you looking to move into? Pro Overwatch player or what?
Pro. I'm a computer science major,
Okay.
so uh, generically software development would kind of be where I'd move to. Um, I am currently doing. I'm trying to get an internship at uh, a few places I've applied to, Notre Dame being one, which would be really interesting. But
Very,
as for future, I mean, I probably won't try and pursue Overwatch as an esport. Um, I don't know. It's so many factors and so many variables go into like the future. It's hard to predict what I'm gonna be doing,
yeah.
especially with computer science as like generic as a degree as it is.
Well, hey, don't rule it out.
Hey, yeah, you
I
know
could
what?
see you on what Dallas Fuel. Were they the
Dallas
ones that
Fuel?
won?
Nah, I
Yeah, yeah.
mean gladiators maybe.
Gladiators. Okay, okay. We'll keep an eye out for you.
Yeah, hey man, if you see me on the big screen.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me here. Any last shout outs, things you want to say here?
Oh, yeah, I got I could shout out a few people actually.
Sure. Yeah.
Obviously big shout outs to like you and Tristan for sure for just like making everything like possible.
Thank you.
It's
Yes.
it's crazy what you guys have been up to and all the stuff in the background that people on stream might not see. Of course, shout out to Bryce, who's our coach for Overwatch, and Christian, Christian Marhinke. He's been a great help being because Bryce can't be in person. He's living out working at his job. Christian's here in person, and he handles a lot of the in person stuff and the club team as well now. And then just a shout out to everyone on the team with me, everyone on Shield, Beacon, and Club, for just being here and making it
Yeah.
possible to play Overwatch as a group. It's super fun.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be possible without all the players here
Yeah,
competing, trying their best, having fun. So.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on and joining me here today. And thank you for everyone watching. We will
Thank you.
see you again next week at the same time. And this has been the Beacon